What's going on? What's going on? Hey, so it's official. The arbitration ruling has come in, and the arbitration judge has decided that Tyson Fury is going to have to give Deontay Wilder that third fight. Basically, is what we've been saying basically for the last couple of months. We're saying that this was going to happen. I've been saying it for a lot of months that Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury was all a smokescreen. It was all BS. It was never happening. A lot of people were saying that, hey, don't listen to this person or that person. These people don't know what they're talking about, this and that. But at this point, we know who was lying and we know who was telling the truth. We know people who, people were giving the fans, the correct information, and we know those who were, pushing the fans astray, towards BS, towards incorrect information, towards things that weren't going to happen. And so, I'm not sure what exactly the next process is going to be, how long it's going to take for them to situate this as far as getting this fight set up. But yeah, Tyson Fury's been in training. Deontay Wilder's been in training. And I think both of them have been training basically knowing that this fight's what's going to happen next. Deontay Wilder never faltered. He's kept the same message the entire time that he's getting his third fight and he's fighting Tyson Fury. His wife has said the same thing. They're fighting Tyson Fury. And they've been very consistent with that. A lot of people getting hyped up yesterday with Tyson Fury saying that, he's fighting, Anthony Joshua and it's official and, it's going down. And he spoke to the Prince of Saudi Arabia and this and that. And, but, obviously we know that's all BS, because what we like to call today is Judgment Day. This is the day where everything I said would happen has basically happened. And I know a lot of people are wondering, is there still a way for Tyson Fury to get out of this? A lot of people have been saying that, hey, he can still fight, Anthony Joshua. What are they going to do to him? What are they going to do to him? People have this misconception that there's no ramifications if he does something. But there's a lot that can happen. First, the arbitrator said that he must fight him next. He must give him a rematch, and it must be done, I think, by September 15th. So they also gave a time frame where he has to he has to fight this man. And no, for those who are thinking, can, he fight, AJ really quick before? No, they can't do that. That's number one. People wondering about the ramifications. What would happen if he was to fight Anthony Joshua? There's a lot of things that could happen. One of the biggest thing is that they're not making any money in the United States, that's for sure, because there's going to be an injunction put on all networks, and nobody's going to be able to televise that in the United States. Not ESPN, not Fox, not Showtime, not DAZN, nobody. There will be an injunction as it pertains to that. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to financial damages, all those three parties are connected. ESPN, Top Rank, Tyson Fury, they're all tethered together. So any kind of financial, penalties get brought down, they all would have to, basically pay that, mainly ESPN. And people have this misconception, it's 2, 3, 4. No, we're talking tens of millions. Who knows what they might be, 20, 30, 40 plus that you'd have to pay. Whatever they believe will make that man whole. Because they not only look at the funds he'll be losing from fighting Tyson Fury next, but future earnings as well from him getting his belt back. How, what kind of damage is he getting? They could, God knows what they might put up. Have to say yes to fight. He'd have to pay. He also wouldn't be able to fight he wouldn't be able to fight in the United States anymore. That's for sure. And I'm not sure how he's even going to get these funds, because he has a contract with ESPN. He has a contract with Top Rank. They can't sanction the fight. They can't let the fight happen. So he basically would have to, basically violate his contract with Top Rank, violate his contract with ESPN. It wouldn't be cool. And I don't know, what the legal-wise, the relationship, there is a relationship between the United States and Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is not, no prince or nothing's going to want to put themselves into a space where now they're violating, getting in the middle of judges in the United States saying, hey, this man can't fight. They'll end up pulling back. Once they get, government officials involved, and those government officials then start talking to the Saudis, that'll be the end of that real quick. They'll pull out of that anyway. It wouldn't happen regardless anyway. United States gives Saudi Arabia a lot of bread. It gives them a lot of weapons. A lot. It gives them a lot of weapons. That's where they get all the artillery from the United States. There's a lot of dealings between these two countries. So they're not standing, brushing aside a ruling like that, and going forth with something like that. And this is the biggest thing, is that there'll be no WBC belt on the line. So there wouldn't be a fight for undisputed, WBC belt would not be on the line. He would be stripped. He would have to be stripped of that belt. Absolutely stripped of that belt. So that wouldn't be on the line. So undisputed wouldn't be on the line at all. It would be ugly. So it just financially that makes no sense. Not to mention, even though you're fighting in Saudi Arabia, because these two countries do have workings together, yeah, you'll go over there, you'll fight Anthony Joshua, all of a sudden you'll see that account where you're supposed to get your funds is frozen. You'll see all of a sudden see that account is frozen. And that $75 million has been taken from you and given to Deontay Wilder. Like, a lot of bad things could happen. So no. All these, weird things that people are thinking about, it's not happening. And on top of that, what's it called? And on top of that, people have always been talking about, oh, maybe Wilder will take a step aside money. He's not taking step aside money. The man has made it very clear from a long time ago that he will not be taking any step aside money whatsoever. So that's not happening either. Basically, Tyson Fury has two choices. He's going to have to step up and he's going to have to fight Deontay Wilder. Or I guess he could retire, but even if he retires, you probably have things, set up in those contracts where there's going to be ramifications for that too, where penalties are going to be put down too, because he did the same thing to Klitschko. So I'm sure they have something in those contracts as pertains to that as well. So I don't think that would even be an option for him. Basically, he's going to have to fight Deontay Wilder, period. And there'll be this will be asinine for him not to do so, due to the fact that per their previous contract, he gets it's a 60-40 split Tyson Fury's way. It was a 50-50 fight the last fight, and then the winner gets a 60-40 split. So what, you're going to retire and make no money? Or let Deontay Wilder fight, lose your belt, and what, you're going to fight Tyson Fury? No. Who says that man's going to put up the money? There's no proof of funds already been given anyway. So we don't even know if this money is actually available there, because there's been no proof of funds, nothing to show that money is even real. That's the other part. There still hasn't been anything, when it comes to the funds, they haven't been shown anything whatsoever. So you're going to duck this fight in order to try to do this fake fight for no money, with monopoly money? No, this is a sure thing. These funds are there, that. And, ESPN was signed, contracts with Fox, and I don't see them bypassing those obligations, especially after this ruling. So it looks like it's going to be Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder by September. I don't know if it's going to be in July, August, whenever it's going to be, but the fight will definitely be happening. And may the best man win. And we have, Anthony Joshua is going to be fighting Usyk. And we'll see what happens with that fight. And I expect it to be a situation where Anthony Joshua signs a long-term deal with DAZN for hundreds of millions of dollars, and he was never going to fight Tyson Fury anyway. He's not going to fight Deontay Wilder. He's not going to fight Ortiz. And they're going to try to keep him in a space where he can consistently stay winning and make as much money as they can off him for the next 6 to 8 years. That's the real plan for him. That's what was always going to happen. And Fury versus Wilder 3 was always going to happen as well. But, it's Judgment Day. And these are the type of situations where, you go against the grain over and over and over again, telling people this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen. People brush you off. They say you don't know what you're talking about. this is what's really gonna happen. But then this is the day where you're able to sit back and say, I told you. But so we'll see what happens with the build-up, and we'll see what happens with the fight. And I can't wait. Deontay Wilder is getting what's rightfully his, which is the rematch that was signed for in that contract. And per that judge, it must be respected. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.